a light bulb goes on over their head and they go, boy, Lori Sharp. We've all seen it, right? When that happens here, you're going to love this. When this happens here, they've asked you 3 or 4 questions and they just see, man, this guy's sharp. The next question they ask you, that you would bet Cass, K-A-S-H, his son, you would bet his life on it. And that's more valuable than your own. You know the answer is 3.5. Don't say 3.5. Say, I think it's 3.5. Let me check. I only like to tell my customers things I'm sure of. I like it when they can trust me. Now, bring them to the computer or bring the book to them and say, hey, I checked. It is 3.5, but gosh, it's really important to me to tell you the truth. I want you to be able to understand that I'm on your side. You know what the hell that's worth? You're building rapport. You're letting them know, I know my stuff, and if I'm not sure, I'll check. Now you can count on me. Listen, I'll prove it to you. Does everybody agree that at some point in the interview, maybe immediately, you realized I was insane? Correct? Everybody's looking at me like I got 3 heads, particularly if you came from, an interview with a normal human being. But here's the weird shit. Every one of you got in your car and went, I trust that guy. He looked me in the eye. He's got my back. I want you to build trust. And so much of this psychology. I know we got some guys with college educations. Do you know what psychologically we hate the most in other people? It's what we recognize in ourselves. Nothing drives us crazier than, right? How many times you hear somebody call somebody else cheap and they're the cheapest guy you know? So it's psychology. We're putting these people in the understanding mode that I'm with you. And as I said earlier, making a lot of money on somebody isn't bad. You're giving them better service. And the more they like it, the more they'll pay. It always comes down to the salesperson. Spaced repetitions, okay? How do you get over negativity? You remind yourself why you're here. I'm trying to buy a Porsche. I want my kid to go to an Ivy League school. Once we forget where we're going, right back to the navigation system with no coordinates put in. Structure. I am completely out of my mind. Have you ever seen a cleaner sheet than the one I gave you?
No.
You could, because I want it to be right. I know how frustrating it is when you can't tell if it's an S or a 5. Takes me 2 seconds. Everybody that handed me a resume, I still repeated it back to you twice. Isn't it cool to know that if he wants to reach you, I didn't write down the wrong phone number? You gotta have structure in your life. Because I don't care how smart you are, how handsome, how beautiful, how talented, if you don't have a structure, you're dead. You gotta go through a certain process. He's the finance guy. He'll tell you, he jokes with him, I could tell, he's a very cool guy, very personable. But if the paperwork's not perfect, they fire him and they get somebody less personable. But if you can be personable to sell the products,
I'm agreeing.
don't start no shit, because I'll get back the guy that couldn't tape up the cardboard. We'll shuffle the whole place. I told him if he'd come, we'd have some fun. By the way, the reason he would love me if I worked for him is I never gave him any bad paperwork. I made sure I had the copy of the license if it was a change in address. I'm not bragging. The stuff I do is so easy. But you got to get up in the morning and say, I'm going to sell a bunch of cars, make a lot of money, and make it clean. Because once the finance guy loves you, once the ladies in the back office love you, your job's easy. Because people start to trust you. You got to have support.